So what's up guys, welcome to another video. Today we are going to create a advanced tooltip. So in this video you can see that we have an image and we have some tooltips going on which have a nice pulse effect. As you can see here we have this pulse effect, and whenever I will hover one of them, as you can see the tooltip here, that's the advanced tooltip that we are going to have, and that's it. And if you can see this one, we have this, and for this one we have this. As you can see we have many kind of tooltips here, and the content, as you can see that inside of our tooltip, it can be anything. So I just made it a flex box here, as you can see. So it can be anything, so you can add anything as you want, and it is perfectly responsive. It is awesomely responsive. Let me show you what I mean. So now as you can see that we are in the responsive section. Whenever I will click it, as you can see the indicator and all the other things, and just notice the indicator, it will move automatically. As you can see the indicator and the point and the pin is moving automatically according to our width of the device. So that's how much responsiveness it is, and I will show you how you can create this. And if I show you this one, and as you can see that it is moving the pin and all the other content according to our device. So in this video I will create this super responsive tooltip. Hope you will like it. So no more talk, let's dive into it. So today is the day 18 of our 30 days 30 submits. So for the day 18 we are going to create advanced tooltips, and also in the day 16 you can see that we already did the basic tooltips. If you interested, you can check it out, the video and also the code for the basic tooltips where I made tooltips with only the CSS. And if you are interested in this 30 days 30 submits challenge, please come here in this repo. I will link it in the description where you can find all the interesting submits that I did in this 30 days 30 submits challenge. So no more talk, let's dive into the code actually. So here my HTML file, and here CSS and JS. So in the HTML, first of all let's create a boilerplate here. So in the boilerplate I will have a section, and in this section I will have a div with a class of container, and in this div I will have an image. So let's have image. So now I don't have any kind of image, so let me copy the images here. So now we have some images. As you can see, these are the images that we are going to use. Okay, so you can find those images also in the source code. So here in our image here, let's create a image source. So I will use image 1, and here alternative, let's say that that's an image. So perfect, and if I save here and refresh, I can see my image here. So now first of all let's actually style this image and resize it. So in our link here, let's link the CSS first of all. So it will link the CSS, and in the CSS first of all let's say that the padding will be 0 and margin will be 0 and box sizing will be the border box. So now we don't have any kind of extra gap here. So after that let's come to the HTML, and let's say that font size will be about 16 pixel, and also let's say that font family will be Montserrat. So Montserrat, and that's fine. And after that let's come to the body here, and let's say that I will have a background color for the body which will be this one, and also let's have a width of something like 100%. So if I save, as you can see that the background color is changed and the width of our body is now 100%. And after that let's come to the section, and let's say that the height will be 100 VH and the width will be 100%, and also let's say that display will be flex, and align items center and justify content center. So it will keep the image in the center, as you can see. So after that let's actually resize our image. So it's in the container. So first of all let's style the container. So in the container let's say that the width will be 90% and the max width will be about 1200 pixel, and let's say that margin will be 0 and auto. Now as you can see that the image have only the 90% of its width. So after that, let's come to the image. So it's in the container. So container image, I can say that something like width will be 100% and the height will be 100%. So if I save, now as you can see that it's perfectly resized, looking good. So now let's come to the tooltips. So in our HTML, that's our image. So after the image, we will have a div with a class of all tooltips. So that's the div where we will have our all tooltips. So let's create first tooltip here. So let's get a div with a class of tooltip, and also let's have another class here for our individual style. So tooltip 1. So the first class, which is the tooltip, will be common for each and every tooltips that we will have in this tooltips div. And the second class, as you can see that this will be for our individual style. So let's say that I want to have the tooltip 1 in the side here, tooltip 2 in the side here. That's the style that we are going to put in this tooltip 1. So basically this second class is for the individual style and the first class is for the common style. So in our first tooltip, we will have two more div. The first one will be the pin and the second one will be the content. So div with a class of content. Actually, let's say the tooltip content. Tooltip content. So that's the structure. So in each tooltip we will have a pin and other will be the tooltip content. And also in the tooltip content we will have another div with a class of arrow. So this will be the little arrow which will indicate the tooltip. So after this arrow we will have our content. So after this arrow we will have our actual content. So div with a class of content, and sorry, my mistake. So content. So in this content we will have our content. So first one will be the h1. Let's say that hello tooltip. So that's the tooltip 1. And we will have also paragraph. So let's create some paragraph lorem. Let's say that 20. So looking good for now. So now if I save, as you can see that we can see the h1 and also the paragraph which is for our tooltip 1 here. So let's actually style those tooltips here. So first of all, let's call the all tooltips. So tooltips. So this is the class where we will have all our tooltips. So we need to position it absolute and make sure that the parent of our all tooltips is the position relative. So now it's in the position absolute. So after that we can position it. So first of all, let's say that the width will be 100% of our container and height will be also 100%. And also let's say that the left will be 0 and the top will be 0. Now if I save, now you can see that the position of our all tooltips is now absolute position. And here let's call the tooltip content class. So tooltip content. And here let's actually say that the position will be the absolute and the background color will be a white color. And also let's say that I will have a box shadow. So the box shadow will be 0 pixel, 0 pixel and 20 pixel spread. And also let's say that we will have a blackish box shadow with 20% of opacity. So now you can see that the background of our content is now white and we have a subtle box shadow under the content, as you can see. So after that, let's actually have some padding inside of our this content. So 30 pixel will look good. And also let's have a border radius about 30 pixel, not 30 pixel, 8 pixel, 4. Yeah, 4 pixel is looking good. Actually 8. Let's keep it 8. So after that, let's have the width of it. So the width will be 90 VW. So now as you can see that the width will be 90 VW. And after that, let's also have the maximum width will be 300 pixel. So now you can see that the maximum width will have 300 pixel. But whenever we will go to the small device, so let me show you. So if I go something like that, now you can see that it will keep in the 90% of our mobile width. As you can see that it's also responsive because I said that the maximum width will be 90%. As you can see, that's the 90% of our width. So that's for the responsiveness and it's looking good for now. So after that, what I need, actually I need to disappear it. So let's say that opacity will be 0 and also say that pointer event will be none. So pointer event will be none. So now you can't see it and you can't actually click that, and after that let's actually keep the z index too. So now we can't see it. So for the testing purpose, actually let's comment this so that I can style all these things. So now we can see it. So after that let's actually style the arrow for our tooltip content. So for that I can say something like tooltip content dot arrow. So let's actually style the arrow. So the position of the arrow will be absolute and the width will be 10 pixel and also the height will be 10 pixel. So after that, so we can't still see it because we don't have any kind of background color. So if I give it a background color of aqua so that we can see it, so that's the div as you can see for our arrow. So looking fine for now, and after that let's actually come to the border, and let's say that I will have a border of 10 pixel solid, and also let's keep it the color of aqua. So now you can see that that's the actually the arrow here. So we don't need the width actually, and actually let's give it the shape of arrow. So for that what I can do, actually I can say something like border bottom color. So the bottom color will be something like red. So I am giving the bottom color red because I want the arrow to indicate in the top. So if you want the arrow in the top, you can say something like bottom. If you want the arrow indicating into the down, you can say something like top. So basically it will be the opposite direction. So now you can see that when I say something like bottom color is red, now we have this arrow. So now what I can do, actually in our border I can say that instead of this aqua color I want the border color transparent. So if I say transparent, and also we don't need any kind of color, so let's remove it. So now you can see that we have this nice little icon here. So let's actually position it. So for that I can say something like it will be in the top 0 pixel. So now it in the top 0 pixel. So now you can say that it is in the top 0, but it is not perfectly top of our this div. So for that I can say something like transform translate, and here I can say something like minus 50%, and for the y I need to minus 100%. So now you can see that it is now perfectly in the top of our div here. So now I can say after that the left will be 50%. Now you can see that it's now perfectly center of our div. Now what you can do, you can change the color red to the white. So let's actually keep the white. Now you can see that we have this white arrow here. So looking good. And after that what I need, actually I need to style my pin. So for that I need to disappear my content. So let's actually remove the comment here. So it will remove this div, or it will disappear the div for now. So if I save, now you can see that it's now disappeared. And what I need, actually I need to create my pin here. So the first pin that we are going to create, so for the position we will say that it will be absolute, and the top will be 0, not 0, let's say that 50%. So it's from the 50% of our top, and in the left it will be 80%. Actually let's say that 50% for now. So from the top 50%, from the left 50%, so it should be basically around here. So let's also give it a background color of white so that we can see it, and also let's give it a height and width, so 25 pixel, and the width will be 25 pixel. So now you can see that that's our pin for now. And actually let's make it rounded. So border radius will be 50%. Now you can see that that's rounded. And also let's say that the cursor will be pointer. Now we have this pin for our tooltip. So after that we will have our pulse effect in this pin. So let's say that in the pin we will have a pseudo element. So after, and the content of the pseudo element will be empty, and the position will be absolute, and the top will be 0, and the left will be 0. Also say that the height will be 100%, and the width will be 100%. And also let's say that the background color of white Now you can see that that's the square that we have, that's the after pseudo elements. So let's actually make it also the rounded. So border radius 50%. So now we have two circles here. The first circle is the pin and the second circle is the after. So now what I can say is I can animate the after circle, this one. So for that, let's create an animation keyframe. So here keyframes, and let's name it pulse effect. So pulse effect, and let's say something like in 0% of our animation I will say transform scale. So I will scale it something like from 1 to something like in 100%. The scale will be, so a scale will be something like 3. So you can see that the scale will be from 1 to 3. If you want, you can do something like 0.5. So it will start from the 0.5 and it will grow to the 3. So after that, what I also want, in our 0% the opacity will be 1, and in the 100% the opacity will be 0. So now we will have a nice effect which will be something like pulse effect. So effect, sorry. So now we have this keyframe. Actually, let's use this keyframe in our after. So let's say that animation. So animation, the name of the animation is the pulse effect. So pulse effect, and it will go to 3 seconds and ease in out and also infinite time. So now you can see that we have this pulse effect. So actually let's make 1 second. Now it's looking much better, I think. Okay, so now that's looking really amazing with the 1 second of animation time, as you can see. So after that, let's actually functionalize our tooltip. So for that we will use our JavaScript. So in our body tag, before the closing body tag, let's actually add the script here. So main.js. So in our JavaScript, first of all, let's actually select all the elements. So here let's say that selection, and first of all let's select the tooltips. So tooltips. So for now we have the one tooltip, as you can see that that's the one tooltip we have now, but in the future we might have many more. So for that I will actually grab all of them with a query selector all. So let's say that document dot query selector all. So make sure that it's all, because you might have multiple tooltips in your website. So make sure that you have the query selector all instead of query selector. So here let's actually select them. So I can say something like all tooltips. So that's under the all tooltips, and we have a common class of tooltip for all of our tooltip. So it will select each and every tooltips and it will store it in this variable. So after that let's actually select our full div. So full div. So document dot query selector. So query selector, and we will select the section actually. So that's the full div for our tooltip. As you can see that that's the div of section where we have all of our thing for these tooltips. So that's why I just select this section for our full div. So let's say that constant, we will have a container. So container. So this container will be this one. As you can see that we already have a class of container. So this is something where you have your image. Okay, so I will just grab the container because this container is having now the same height and width as we have in our image, as you can see. So for that let's actually grab it here. So document dot query selector, and let's have the container class. So after that let's actually have a function here. So function content position and something like that. So in this function we will position our content. So it will be dynamically positioned every time when we will call the function. So what we will do actually in this function, so let's actually call all the tooltips, and let's say that for each tooltip. So for each tooltip, what I want to do, so I'll say that I will first of all grab the pin of the tooltip, I will grab the content of the tooltip. So let's actually grab the tooltip pin. So tooltip dot query selector, so we are now in the individual tooltip and we are grabbing the individual pin for the tooltip. So let's say that pin, and also grab the content. So for that we have tooltip content, so tooltip content, and here let's say that tooltip actually content, that will be fine. So that's the tooltip pin and that's the tooltip content. And after that let's actually grab the arrow also. So arrow here, so let's say that it's in the tooltip dot query selector and I can say something like arrow. So now we have the arrow here from the individual of our tooltip. So after that we will position our content here. So first of all let's say that the content dot style dot left. So the left will be, so I wanna have the left as our pin dot offset left. So if I also press the pixel here, now we are changing the content style left, it will be perfectly in the left of our pin. So let's actually remove the opacity 0 from our content so that we can see it. So if I remove the opacity 0, now if I save that, so it's not working. Actually we need to call the function, we made the function but we did not call it yet. So let's actually call the function. So content position and just pass it here. So now if I save, we should see still it is not working. So here as you can see that we just made a mistake, we just said the offset, so it will be said that offset left. Actually let me make it so offset left. So as you can see that it's working now. So that's our pin and the content position style left is from our pin left, as you can see. So now it will be dynamic, so whenever I will change it, so as you can see that it will be from the our content left. So also let's actually change the top value. So for that I can say something like the top of our content will be something like it's in the pin offset top. So instead of left, let's actually say that offset top. So something like that. Now you can see that it's perfectly from the left and from the top, as you can see here. So if I also refresh, as you can see that it's working. So now what I want to do, actually I want to minus the div width. So not the full width, the half of the div width I want to minus from this left. So it will, if I remove the half of width, it will be a start from this and it will be perfectly center. So for the left I can say something like minus or subtract. What I can do, I can say something like content dot offset width, so width divided by 2 and plus our pixel. So now if I save, now you can see that it is perfectly center, it's perfectly center, and we need to actually move the top a little bit. So for that I can say something like from the top I will also have 20 pixel extra. So if I make 20 pixel, it's now 20 pixel down. If I make 50 pixel here, so it's 50 pixel down. So let's keep it 30 pixel, which is looking good for now. So as you can see that it's almost working perfectly, just we need to move this arrow now. And the last thing we need, actually we need to move this arrow, which is, you can see that here. So to move the arrow, what I can do, actually I can say something like arrow dot style dot left, and the left will be, it's from the pin left, so pin dot offset left, so offset left. And also we wanna minus, so now the pin will be here. So if I save, so let me show you. So if I save that, so now the pin will be something like here, because it is from here we are giving the offset left of our pin. So after that what I remove, actually I wanna remove the content offset left. So let's actually do that. So minus content offset left. so not that, so offset left. So now you can see that it's in the previous place. So after that I wanna also add the half of our pin width, so I can say something like pin dot offset width. So now if I save, it's now full of offset width, so I don't need the full of offset width, I want the half of our offset width. So now if I save, as you can see that it's now perfectly indicating our arrow. So actually the arrow is now perfectly in place. So actually let's keep it 40 pixel, so it will make now 40 pixel down, as you can see here. So now it's looking perfect. So it's working now, and actually instead of manually calling this function, what I now do, actually I can add some event listener in our window. So event listener here, so event listener. So let's actually call the window, so window dot add event listener. So whenever our content will be loaded in our website, we wanna call this function automatically. So let's actually call the event for that. So the event is the DOM content loaded. So whenever our DOM will be loaded perfectly, we will call the function, which is the content position. So now the content position will be called automatically when our DOM will be loaded. So also let's actually call this same function in our window again when we will resize our window. So let's say that the window dot add event listener, and whenever we will resize our window, we wanna update the position. So that's why we will also call the content position. So now if I save, now you can see that it's working. Now you can see that that's the content and the arrow is perfect. So now whenever we will change the position, we will change the height and width of our window, means we will resize our window, the content will remain same, as you can see. Perfect. So after that, what I need, actually whenever I will hover, I wanna show this content, otherwise I don't wanna show it. So to make it, what I need, actually I need to remove it for the initial state. So let's say that the opacity will be 0 and the pointer event none, and if I save, we can't see it. And actually let's make it functional. So let's say that tooltip dot for each and tooltip, what I wanna do here. So let's say that I wanna also grab the pin here, so constant pin actually. So the pin will be tooltip. So we already did this here, so let's actually just copy this, copy here and paste it. So I'm just getting the pin and the content for the individual tooltip. So now we have that, and after that let's say that pin dot add event listener. So now we are adding event listener in the pin, and the event will be the mouse move. So whenever we will make a mouse move over this pin, we wanna do something. What we wanna do? So we wanna call a arrow function here. So in this arrow function, what I wanna do, actually I wanna add a class in our tooltip. So let's say that tooltip dot class list dot add, which will be active. So if I save and if I inspect that, so that's the tooltip, and whenever I will hover it, as you can see that we have this active class here. So let's actually style with this active class. So for now, as you can see that in the initial state, the opacity and the event, so pointer event is actually none, and whenever we will have the active class in our tooltip, we will remove it. So we will make the opacity 1 and the pointer event all. So to make it, so as you can see that here we can say something like tooltip dot active double O here. So tooltip dot active means whenever we will have the active class in our tooltip div, what I wanna do, I wanna go to the tooltip content. So let's say that tooltip content, and the opacity will be back to the 1, and also pointer event will be all. Now you can see that it's working. So for initial state we don't have the content, but whenever we will hover it, we have the content perfectly. So let's actually remove it. So for that, what I can do, actually whenever we will go outside of our pin, we wanna remove this active class. So that's why we will not have the opacity 1 whenever we will go to the outside of the pin. So basically it will remove the tooltip content. So let's come here in our JS. So let's say that we will have another event listener in the pin. So pin.add event listener, which is actually the mouse out, or you can say the, sorry, not mouse out, it will be leave. So mouse leave, that's the event whenever we will leave the mouse from our this pin. What I wanna do, I wanna call a function. So this function, arrow function, where I will just remove the class. So instead of add, I will say that remove. So now whenever I am just hovering it, we have it. Whenever I am just out from the pin, it will remove it. So let's say that I don't wanna remove the content instantly, so I wanna stay at time. So let's say that after the 1 second or 0.5 second I wanna remove it. So cut it, and for that I can say something like constant, not constant, let's actually declare it here with a let variable. So let time id. So time id, or you can say something like timeout id. So timeout id. So that's the timeout id. So, and here let's call the timeout id, and in this timeout id I will have timeout actually. So set timeout, and in this set timeout I wanna have the 1000 millisecond, that's mean the 1 second. So after the 1 second we will run this arrow function here that you can see that I'm creating. So in this arrow function I just remove the class. So let's copy that and paste it here and remove it. So now if I save, as you can see, when I am hovering we have this. Whenever I will remove, so as you can see that it will wait 1000 millisecond, means 1 second, then it will remove the class. Have it 1 second wait and remove it. So looking good. So let's also do one more thing here. So let's say that whenever we will actually hover the content here, so that's the content. So whenever we will also hover that, we wanna show the content div. So now you can see that whenever I am hovering this, it's not having, or it's not showing the content, because we actually made the functionalize for the pin. So whenever we will hover the pin, we will see it, otherwise we can't see. So let's actually do it for also the content div itself. So to make it, I can say something like here the content. So content dot add event listener, and here I can say something like same thing that we did here. So mouse move, and here what I wanna do actually, I wanna call a function. So whenever we'll hover this content, I wanna also add the class here and save it. And also whenever we will leave it, so as we did here, we wanna remove the class. So just paste it, and instead of pin, let's say that content. So now if I hover the content, it should stay. So as you can see that I am hovering the content, but it's not staying. So because whenever we are move out from our pin, as you can see that when we mouse leave from the pin, it will wait once again and it will remove the class. So let's actually stop this thing whenever we will move to the content. So to stop that, what I can do actually, I can say something like clear timeout. So I want to clear a timeout. So which one? I want to clear the timeout of timeout ID. So this one. So let's pass the timeout ID and save it. So now whenever I will hover it, as you can see that we have the content, and whenever I will also hover the content, it's already showing the content. It's not removing, as you can see, because what I am doing here, I am clearing the timeout and adding the class also here. So now it will be perfectly fine. As you can see that we are now hovering this content and it is perfectly staying in the window. It's not removing or hiding. But whenever we will outside of the content, it will wait 1 second and remove itself. Also what you can do actually, instead of mouse move, you can do something like mouse over. So if I save, now you can see that we have it, and also we have it here. And we don't have it now, we have now, we don't have now. So now you can see. So that's up to you what you wanna use. So let's actually mouse over. Yeah, mouse over is working perfect. So now we have a basic tooltip that we have here, as you can see. So let's actually change the position of our tooltip. So in our style here, so let's come here and let's keep a comment here. So let's say that custom style for tooltip 1. So that's the custom style for the tooltip 1, where I can say something like tooltip 1, and I wanna change the position of the pin. So let's call the pin class, and here let's say that I wanna position it somewhere here so that I can see the responsiveness of the pins. So let's actually position it right here. So I can say something like left will be about 90%. If I refresh, I should see the tooltip here. So now you can see that it's working perfectly fine, but we have a responsive issue here. So as you can see, we have this responsive issue going on. So let's actually fix it. So in our JS here, as you can see that that's where we are positioning the content. So let's actually check it. So here let's actually check a statement here. So let's say that the pin dot offset left plus the content. So content dot offset width divided by 2 is bigger than the width of our full div. So if it is go outside of this full div, that's what we are checking. So I can say that full div dot offset width. So if it is going outside of our full div width, I wanna console log something. So console log, let's say that right conflict. So now if I save console log here, so we having the right conflict here going on, but whenever we will go something like that, should we have still the right conflict? So now as you can see, so now we don't have the right conflict anymore, but we will go to the smaller device. Now we are having the right conflict. As you can see that now it is 14. So before it was 4, and when we go to the mobile device it's now 14. And so let's actually fix it. So whenever we will have the right conflict, so let's actually calculate the extra left that we have here. So let's say that extra left. So that's the extra left we will calculate automatically or dynamically. So how we will calculate it? So basically what I will do, actually I will subtract the full of our width from the full div width. So I can say something like full div dot offset width. So offset width. So minus from that, what I wanna subtract? I wanna subtract the pin left plus content half width. So if I copy this and paste it here, so that's the extra left that we have here. And what I wanna do now, I wanna add this in our this content style left here. So let's actually say that content, just copy this. I don't wanna need this anymore here. So just copy this, and as you can see that style left, and that's all other thing that we have here. That's the default one. So whenever we will have the right conflict, what I wanna do, actually I wanna also add this extra left with our left. So extra left that we need now here, making the default one. So actually let's cut it and say that else and paste it here. So if we have the right conflict, we will use this left, else we will use our default left. Okay, that's what I'm saying. So if I save, and now it should work. Now what I can do, actually in our section I can say something like overflow x will be hidden. So now we don't have it, and we have our content here. So let me just check the responsiveness. Now you can see that we are perfectly have the responsiveness, as you can see. So now you can see that it's not going outside of the window, it's always staying inside of our window. So looking good for now. We fixed the responsive issue for the right conflict. So let's create another one. So let's create a new tooltip. So let's actually copy this one. So we have this tooltip, just copy this, and let's actually change the position. Sorry, so let's actually change the class name. It will be tooltip 2 and hello tooltip 2. So if I save, and that's our tooltip 2, as you can see here. So we don't need to do anything else, we just need to specify the class name and also the content if you change the content. So now what I need, actually I need to change the position. Let's actually check the left conflict if we have any kind of left responsive issue. So in here let's actually say that custom style for tooltip 2, and here what I need, actually tooltip 2 dot pin. So I wanna change the pin position. So in the top it will be something like 40%, and in the left it will be something like 10%. Okay, so as you can see that that's in the left side and it is from the top 40%. So if I hover it, we have perfectly this tooltip here. So now as you can see that we have an issue whenever we are moving inside of our this tooltip. We don't have any kind of content because here we just say that mouse over. So let's actually keep it mouse move actually. See, instead of this I will say that mouse move. So as you can see that it's working perfectly now. Good. So let's actually check the responsiveness for the left conflict. So whenever we will go to the smaller device, and if I do that, as you can see that we have a problem. So the tooltip have a left conflict here, it is going outside of the window in the left side, as you can see. So let's actually fix it here. So for that, here let's create a if statement. So I will just create it here, and here what we will check. So we will check it for the left side. So for the left side, what I can do now, I can say that pin dot offset left. So that's the offset left, and if the offset left means from here to the pin and plus this amount of space, so which is actually plus container dot offset left. So with that saying, what I am doing, actually I am actually calculating this whole amount of distance, as you can see here, and if it is smaller than the width of our content dot offset width, sorry, offset width here. So if it is smaller than our content width, actually not the full content width, actually if it is half of our content width. So what I'm checking here is if our this amount of distance is smaller than the half of our content width, so it should have a left conflict. So let's actually console log the left conflict here. So left conflict. So if I save and if I open the console log here, so now you can see that we have a right and left conflict. So right for the first one and left for this one. So let's actually fix it. So when we will have this left conflict, what I want to do, so let's say when we will have this left conflict, I can say something like content. So I want to change the content left actually. So content dot left. So when we will have the left conflict, the content will start from the left 0. So I can say for that, I can say minus content, sorry, not content, container, because that's the whole container that we have here. Container dot offset left pixel. So when we will have the left conflict, we will start the div from this amount of space. So it will start from the div, it will go here. So it will not go outside of the div because it will start from the left 0 actually. So now if I save, now you can see that it's starting from the left 0, it's not going outside of the left. Now looking good. As you can see that the left conflict is fixed, it is now perfectly responsive, as you can see that. So that's looking really good. Now you can see that the left conflict is fixed and the right conflict is still fixed. You can see that we have a little issue in the right side. Did a mistake here. So as you can see that we have if statement, after that we have another if, so that's not the if, it will be the else if. And also we have a mistake here, so it should be the style. So if I give it a style, it will start from the left 0. So now if I save, now it's starting from the left 0, working fine for now. So we have problem in the right side. Actually you can see that it's going outside of our window, so let's actually fix it. So we are having this problem because we have a parenthesis here, so let's actually remove this parenthesis from here. Actually if I remove that, so it should work. As you can see that we have this perfect responsiveness going on here and also going on here. So after that, let's actually create those pin for our shop. So let's say that it will be in the pin 1. So let's say that in the pin 1 the position of the pin will be left 82 and also let's say that top 40. So it will indicate the lamp, as you can see. And if you want, you can change the height and width of our pin. So let's say that height will be 15 pixel, not 16. Let's make it 15. And also let's say that the width will be also 15 pixel. So now you can see that it is kind of a small here, and that's our pin, and we have this. So after that, let's actually change the content for our this tooltip 1. So in the tooltip 1 we will have this content div. After the content div we have the arrow, and after that we will have our own thing. So let's actually create an image tag here. So after the arrow I will have a div with a class of img, and in this img I will have actual img here. So img2, let's say that that's the image I want to have. So for the content it will remain as it is, and actually let's have a button where I would say that buy now, something like that. And actually let's give it a price of 199. So if I hover now, as you can see that that's working perfectly fine. So let's actually style it. So here in our pin 1 custom style we can style our content for the pin 1. So let's say that tooltip 1. So tooltip 1 dot tooltip content, and here let's actually display flex and max width. Let's say that I want to change the max width also. So max width will be about 500 pixel. So after that let's actually say that align items stretch, and after that justify content will be center, and padding will be also 0. I don't want any kind of padding, and background color will be Alice blue. So now if I save, I can see the style here. No, it's not the style because we have a problem here. So now we should see the style. As you can see that it's now displaying flex. Perfect. So after that let's come to the image. So before that, tooltip 1, and let's say that if I have an active class in the tooltip 1, I want to change the tooltip content and make it display flex also. And after that let's say that tooltip 1 dot tooltip content dot image div. So that's the div where we have the image, and the width of the div will be something like 50%, and the object will be object fit cover. So now we will have the image perfectly resized inside of our content. And after that let's actually grab the actual content. So tooltip 1 and tooltip content, and inside that I have the actual content here. So in the content I will say that width will also have the 50%, and also let's say that the padding will be about 20 pixel. So now if I hover it, it's looking good for now. So after that let's actually style the h1 and all the other things. So for that I can do something. So let me copy the style. So I don't want to write this one by one. So just copy and paste it. So here as you can see that I have a h1 style, which I just say that font size will be 24 pixel and the paragraph font size will be 14 pixel, and we have a button here which is this one, and we just give it the font size and some specific style here. As you can see that box shadow and radius and all other things, and that's it. And if I see, as you can see that it's working perfectly. So basically in our content div under the content here, so where was the yeah, so basically after this tooltip content we have this tooltip arrow. So after that arrow you can do anything, so there is no limit, you can do anything and these will show inside of your tooltip as you can see here. So actually it's looking good, and let's actually check the responsiveness. So if I come to the mobile device, so if I see, so as you can see that in the mobile device it's not looking that good. So let's actually make it responsiveness for our mobile. So it's up to you. So let's actually create a keyframe. So I will just copy it and paste it here. So that's a basic style. As you can see that whenever we will go to the mobile device, what I am saying it, so the flex direction will be column. So now it is in the row, it whenever I will apply it, it will come to the column, means we will have the image and after that we will have our text. So and we said that the width will be 100%. Now we have the 50% for the image, 50% for the text. After we will go to the mobile, it will be 100% for the each of them. So now if I save, I should see something like that, and if I refresh, it will be perfectly in its place as you can see. So that's it. As you can see that it's working really good. So let's also check the responsiveness. As you can see that the responsiveness is really amazing. So that's it. So before we end the video, let's actually add another tooltip. So to create a new tooltip, now what you need to do, actually you need to copy this and duplicate, or let me show you what you need to do. So to create a new tooltip, now what you need to do is you need to create a div inside of your all tooltips div. So the div will have a class of tooltip. So this will have all the default style that we did, and for the specific style we will can do something like tooltip 3. So now tooltip 3. So we will have this class, and after this we will have a div with a class of pin. So this will make sure that we have the pin, and after the pin we will have a div with a class of tooltip content. So tooltip content, and in this content I will have another div with a class of arrow, and after this arrow you can do anything. So let's say that I wanna say h1 of hello world, and so now as you can see that that's only what you need to do, create a new tooltip. If you want you can do so you can do anything for your content. I just said h1 only. Now you can see that that's our third tooltip and it is in the perfectly placed. And let's actually check the responsiveness. So let's actually place it in the left side of the corner, and here let's say that custom t3. So that's the tooltip 3. For that I just can say something like tooltip 3 dot pin. I just need to position the pin. So let's say that position it in the right side of the right corner. So I just can say that left will be 99% and top will be 0%. As you can see that in the corner we have our content. If I refresh and hover it, as you can see that it's perfectly placed, and it is responsiveness, and you can see that the responsiveness is automatically added. As you can see that the arrow is moved to the right side, as you can see here, so according to our position. So let's actually make it in the 5% of our left. So let's see the left responsiveness and make a refresh here, and as you can see that now it is automatically moved this arrow in the right side, in the left side, because we have a responsive issue in the our left side of the arrow. So as you can see that it will move automatically, you don't need to worry about anything. And that's it. As you can see, we have it, and also we have this. So that's it, you can do anything. Now you can have the ultimate responsive tooltip for your website. So that's it for this video. I hope you like this one, and if you do, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe the channel. And my name is Arfan, and I will see you in the next video. Till then, bye bye, Khuda Hafiz.